How do I get better at selling these charts? Like I bought a lot at like 600 on that dip. It made that second fat. Like,
right here?
I bought that hard, and then once we got to like 2, I'm like, oh, this is the. I start tweeting like, this is next open AI. It's going to $10, and then I hold it and then capitulate like 120. Like, how do you sell that that straight up move to 240 or to 2.4?
So I'll say there's 2 main ways that I kind of do it when it's just in price discovery. One of the first ways is like there's a time sensitive portion of these charts. Anything that is going straight up has to eventually come back down and consolidate. So if you like A16Z, it had been launched, it started its move like November 10th. So if you look at this like, okay, November 10th is when the move started, right? You go a month out. Month is like December, like right here. Okay, so you're a month in to basically up only. I'm not even gonna put it on log because you can see it better.
Yeah.
Basically like up only price action. This up only price action almost never lasts more than 3 months. Like I've never seen a chart go from 0 to like whatever 5 billion in like over 3 months on chain and not eventually come back down. Just because it's like there's not a lot of liquidity. There's too many people in profit, like people who got in at ground floor 0 and now it's a fucking $1 billion market cap. You're basically betting on all those people not selling for an extended period of time, which is just not realistic. So it's like a time thing. Like the 3 months is kind of how I look at most of the on-chain altcoin rotations, that kind of time frame, and it's usually pretty accurate. And then the second thing is like I have a post on it somewhere. I gotta see if I can find it. But it's like 3 drives. It's what like a parabola looks like. There's kind of like 3 drives where you can see the first one here. It's not really that clear on this chart, but let's see if I can. So you see how you have this local high and this local high. You draw this line. So the increasing steepness of the trend is like how much closer you are to the top of the parabola. Like it'll go flat like this, then it'll go slightly more up like this, then it'll go almost completely vertical like this. And when it breaks this like third trend, this is like literally what a parabola looks like. It's literally at one point it's like straight up. When it breaks the third, let's see, this trend line, breaks this line and comes back under it, that's typically when the parabola is like topped out. And it's not really like, there's not a strict way to draw this, because if you could draw this on every chart, then everybody would just sell the top. But it's like the increasing steepness of the trend, and then eventually it'll top out, and then it'll do this little complacency shoulder, and it'll come down. That's how parabolas work. Literally all markets, no matter what, it doesn't matter what the asset is, all parabolas do the same thing. This thread.
Oh, let's see.
All
right, bet.
And honestly, this is just like freehand, because I just seen it so many times. I'm like, I keep selling into these. Let me write something to help people. Kept asking me how to sell the top. They're just like, a lot of them look like this. You have this first line, second line, slightly steeper, third line, slightly steeper, and then it puts in this top. When it comes back beneath this third trend line, it's like, okay, it's coming back down to reality.
Yeah, I gotta learn how to sell that little bounce after the full.
The complacency shoulder is so fucked. The reason it's so fucked, because every single time it happens, everybody gets max bullish into it.
No, it's like we're back. We're back. Fuck.
And they start like dunking on it. Everybody was like, because there'll be people who will be like, we should start selling soon. I'm kind of bearish. And they'll be wrong, and price will keep going up. It'll come down a little bit. And then that fucking complacency shoulder, everybody's like, yeah, look at this dumbass that was bearish.
You start retweeting old tweets and shit. Fuck.
It gets you literally every single. It's fucked up. It's honestly really fucked up. But yeah, this is what it is. Just honestly from looking at a lot of price action.
The complacency shoulder, that shit gets my ass. How do you determine if it's gonna make a new all-time high or it's proper cooked, like those charts we were looking at?
Yeah, so you don't. So you don't. So it's like you have the shoulder, right? Sometimes it does this and it tops, and sometimes it'll do this bullshit and it'll just keep
You're
going
wrong
up.
on the
You don't
reclaim.
know.
Yeah, I see.
You don't know when it's retesting this if you're going to be right or long and selling into it, but you like almost always want to sell into it because you're not going to get a chance to do it again. It's like if it tops here, you're not going to get a chance to sell this level. If it goes up, then okay, you miss like 10%, 20%, whatever.
If it goes down, you miss the whole move.
But if it goes down,
everything,
fuck. And the reason this like works is because if you think about demand and supply, the reason resistance levels are resistance levels is because at whatever price this was, there was more supply than demand. So like sellers won at whatever price this was. So it's like, at this spot where it topped out at, there were more sellers. Like the sellers were in whatever. Sellers were stronger than whatever the buyers here. Like more people wanted to sell here. So when it comes back to that same level where it broke down, you got to think the same situation is probably going to happen. There was more sellers here before. That's like one of the reasons it tops out. That's how I explain the demand and supply shit. I mean, it's why TA works. I was looking at Bitcoin, and essentially we've been in this like range, 90K, like 105, mid 100K, whatever, 105 to 108K. But we haven't broken down yet. So the key support before the Fed bullshit happened was literally like right here. So the day after this is when FOMC, which is like that meeting that they have, and they had their hawkish tilt, and we're like, yeah, we're not cutting 3 times next year. We only think we're gonna cut twice. Inflation's still strong. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Mm-hmm. And then after that happened, it's basically when all markets pulled back, like right after this daily. But the same support level that's been holding this range the entire time is still like right here. So Bitcoin, I think you want to long if it comes down into like 91K, 92K. That's what I was talking about.
Can you give me a take on like the Binance perps and what's happening to our coins after they get listed on Binance perps?
Yeah, so essentially what it is like you have people who are up significant profit on chain, and then you have coins that get listed that have like less than 10 mil in liquidity or however how much liquidity they are. Mm-hmm. And so how selling impacts on chain coins when there's not a lot of liquidity, right? Mm-hmm. So the thing with Binance perps is you can get 10x the size that you would on chain. So imagine you have like, I don't know, 100K bag on chain. 100K bag is not going to nuke it that bad. Mm-hmm. But on perps, you can get up to like 1 mil position size. So if you have a lot of people who are up a lot on a coin and you have a coin that doesn't have a lot of liquidity, well, you can short on perps and then really cash out on chain and like cascade things. And it's like other people just start panicking if it goes down enough. That's usually what it is. It's like once things are on perps, especially if they got there in a short amount of time, then it's usually because there were some people that weren't taking profit early, and then those people have the opportunity to short and sell at the same time.
You got to give me a take on what's going on with Wintermute.
Well, you know what's funny? You guys actually asked, I think, get connected with me the other day. I said I talked to him. I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're like intentionally fucking up the charts. I think what's probably more likely is that the coins who are looking for MMs have supply that they're willing to give to MMs. So those are also the coins that like obviously have supply to dump on people. Like want to be taking profit. So I think there's a lot of overlap in like the teams who have money to pay MMs and like have money to sell on people's heads. Bro, the shit that scares me about this Solana chart is this bullshit. Like it's literally the same fucking setup. You have this high, breakout, fake breakout, retest. Like it's the same.
Oh no! Don't do that.
It's the same bullshit.
What do you think happens here? We go straight to 1,000.
I think we bottom. No, I think we bottom into here, like this 170, 180 area. And I think we're kind of gonna consolidate, like chop upwards on Q1. I think March the unlock or whatever it is. I think it's gonna be priced in by the time it happens, because people aren't priced in like Fire Dancer and a ton of other things that Solana's pushing this year, and they're only focused on the unlock. But
wasn't there just unlock?
If we all, yeah, there's unlock in January, February, and March.
Bullish unlocks,
March
bro.
is the biggest one though. But March is fucking ridiculous.
It is.
Solana March unlock.
Hey, Quaker Oats is on that.